Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Heavy Water 77. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas. I had a great Christmas. Joe, did you have a good Christmas, man?
I did. Still having all kinds of get-togethers with friends and family. So the long Christmas season, everyone kind of hangs around for a while. So
All right. I'm in a super festive mood. I still got my tree up. We usually take our tree off pretty much on the 26th, but we're gonna leave it up for a while. Fuck it. You know what? We're gonna be festive this year. So anyway, I want to thank you all for your support on our YouTube channel, your likes, your listens, and no, I especially want to thank you because I would never have thought in a million years if we did the three main characters from Styx, JY, Tommy, and Dennis, that JY City Slicker would get the most views. Well, so for JY, you know, good job, I guess. I mean,
Mhm.
I have to admit, I think I can speak for Joe that it was probably the best of the three. What do you
Oh,
think? Is that true?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely the best of the three that we've done so far. And I was surprised as well. But then I saw a lot of people coming out in the comment section talking about how much they love JY and stuff. So
Yeah.
there seems to be a pretty decent sized fan base for JY. So I'm happy. That's really cool.
Come up with a JY channel here, maybe. See what that how that goes. I don't know how long we
Yeah.
could last that, but
Oh, I think we're covering all the stuff we could do. So
pretty much, yeah. But again, thank you all very much and appreciate it. Today, what we're doing is, well, I'm gonna let Joe tell us what we're doing today. What are we doing, man?
well, the last three episodes we did Dennis DeYoung's Desert Moon, we did Tommy Shaw's Girls with Guns, and we did JY's City Slicker. And so what we're gonna do is, what if Styx hadn't broken up in 1985 and instead put out an album consisting of songs that ended up on those three solo albums? And so what we're gonna do is we each pick 10 songs and we limited ourselves. We had to pick three songs from each album, which, as we'll get to here going through our list, it's not all great songs, folks, because no Styx album is truly perfect. I think we can all agree. Maybe Grand Illusion. Maybe Grand Illusion. I think there's at least one on every other Styx album. So we're gonna see that today as well, especially coming off of Kilroy Was Here. I do think this album is a marked improvement from Kilroy Was Here, the album that I created. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create our own Styx album that would have come out in 1985. And so we're gonna go back and forth on our list here, kind of explain why we picked the songs we picked, because I know at least in my list, I didn't always pick the songs that I loved the most off of these albums. I picked the ones that would fit a Styx album the most. So,
The caveat, like we said, is I have to pick a minimum of three from each one. So gonna be interesting to say the least. But let's get started. All right, man. Break out the album, unwrap it, take it out of the sleeve, put it on the record player. What do you got leading off this album? Oh, I'm sorry. One thing. Would you happen to have a name for it by any chance? You do?
I am actually going to leave it as Desert Moon. I'm going to call it Desert Moon. I think that of the three, I really couldn't come up with a better title. And I liked that title. And spoiler alert, that song is on my album because it's one of the best songs on the three albums. Uh, but I'm just going to leave it called Desert Moon. So I'm just going to kind of go with that. But opening up the album is the song that opened up Desert Moon, Don't Wait for Heroes. I had to, like we said, we had to pick three Dennis songs,
Yeah.
and this is one of the ones that I had the least issues with, aside from the last 30 seconds. Maybe I might if I'm in the studio, I might just trim that last 30 seconds off. I might,
Right.
when Dennis starts going off and doing some weird shit at the end of the song, I might just say, okay, we're gonna turn that down on the mixing board. But I it's a decent song. It's a decent opener, I think. And usually Dennis is the one that leads all Styx albums, so I'm gonna kind of leave that there. Um, and I'll leave that as the opening track.
Yeah, I struggled. I thought for like at least an hour trying to come up with a name with it, and I couldn't have. So I'm gonna stick with yours, Desert Moon. Screw it. We'll leave it with that because I could not think of a name to call this album. I thought maybe City Slicker, but that's James Young's solo album. Desert Moon, that's
Mm-hmm.
Dennis's. But Desert Moon is a cool freaking name for it, and it sounds Styxish. I can just picture the album cover. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
Grand Illusion and shit like that. But I'm gonna start out with the title track of JY's album. I'm going back to old Wood and Nickel, how they started back in the days, man, with City Slickers, the title track. What a great rocking tune from I've listened to that album a few times since we did the review, man, and I dig it, man. I never thought it would be that good. I'm like, what do you got Jan Hammer with you, man? I mean, that's weird, but it works, and that song doesn't really have that much Jan Hammer, and it's pretty much a JY rocker. So I had to lead off with that one, man. So I'm leading off with City Slicker. What do you got next?
Well, surprisingly, I do love that song. That song did not make my album. I
Wow.
picked other JY songs, but I'm not going to go to a JY song yet. My track two is Tommy Shaw's "Come In and Explain," the second track off of his album. Definitely one of the better songs on that album, in my opinion. Um, Kind of keep it going after "Don't Wait for Heroes," another kind of up tempo-y song. Um, I really enjoy that song. I think it would work as a really good track too. So
Yeah.
that's my track two is Tommy Shaw's "Come In and Explain."
I'm gonna stick with title tracks. I'm gonna go with Tommy's "Girls with Guns." I think that'd be a cool second song. I do dig that song. Always liked it, and even though it's not a really perfect album, there are some great songs on it, and I think that's definitely one of them. As we talked about earlier, there was a time where that keyboard era was in the 80s. That was pretty much the norm for these guys back then. They had to add that on, and I'm sure the record companies wanted kind of a more polished synthesizer. Not all synthesizer, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Where
Yeah.
straight out rockers just weren't, unless you're metal or something, just weren't the norm back then. So I kind of give Tommy a little bit of a break. Dennis, I don't give a break for his stuff, but Tommy, I do, and I think it's a cool tune. I like the keyboard sound on that. It's a pretty cool. It's a great rocking tune. Girls with Guns, Tommy Shaw. What do you got next, man?
Well, just wanted to say about what you were saying about the keyboard kind of thing. Something that we really didn't talk about. It. I was just kind of thinking about it as I was going through this list. I think really one of the big things that really helped out JY make an album as good as he did was the fact that he wasn't on A&M Records anymore. He wasn't necessarily beholden to what A&M wanted.
Yeah,
Whereas we know that's what Dennis wanted. We know
right.
Dennis, that was Dennis. Tommy, it probably was a little bit of that record label pressure, like you said, to put keyboards on, to put a ballad on the album. I think he was kind of beholden to the record company. JY really wasn't. It was more of an independent release. That was kind of what JY wanted to do. And I think as we get through some of the later Tommy Shaw albums, he's going to get a little bit more creative control over some of the
Yeah,
stuff on his albums. But I think with this first one, he was a little bit more beholden to the record label because they wanted a hit.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
so that's why I think that JY might have fared a little bit better creatively than the other two on these particular albums is because he
right,
really didn't have that pressure from A&M Records to put out a hit. He just, this is what I want to put out. And I think it
right.
worked out very well for him.
Yep.
And I'm actually going to pick a JY track as my track three. I'm going to pick the second track off of City Slicker, Something to Remember You By. That's
Great
going to be my
fucking
track
song,
three,
dude.
my first JY song on this album. Spoiler alert, my first of four, because he is the one that I picked the four tracks from. I mean, there's no other album that I'm going to pick four tracks from. So this is the first of my four JY tracks, is Something to Remember You By. Really, really great song. I think it works well after the first two songs, and then I'm going to change up the flow of my album a little bit after this. So kind of keep it going on the rockin' edge a little bit.
Yeah. All right. My next pick is another Tommy song, and I'm gonna go with the ballad. I used to shit on this song so much back in the day. I'm like, this song is boring and lame. But I have learned to really love The Lonely School, man. I think that's a beautiful song. I think he sings it well. Um, just, it's I don't know if that's what Tommy wanted to do or like we said he had to do, but he did it, and I think it worked well because I think it's a beautiful fucking song, dude. So Lonely School is my next one. I can't remember if they had a video if he had a video for that. I think he did have a video for that
He might
song.
have.
I gotta go check that out. But
I
there was
know it was
always
a
something
single.
familiar when I heard this song. Like I said, I haven't listened to Girls with Guns until we did the review in this century, probably. So, and when I heard Lonely School, I'm like, I know I've heard this song before. I know I used to shit on it back in the days when the video came on. I thought, I'm hoping that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, I learned to love this fucking song, dude. So that's my next pick, Lonely School. What do you got next, man?
All right, so for my track four is the ballad, Desert Moon. That's where I'm putting the ballad. It's really the only ballad on my album. There's one on side two that's kind of a ballad, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But I'm putting Desert Moon, easily the best song on that album. I think it's a great
Yeah,
ballad that fits Dennis perfectly, and I think that if it was marketed under the name of Styx, I think it would have been an even bigger hit. It could have been one of their biggest hits, I
like
think.
Babe
Like
area or
Babe,
Baby. Yeah,
yeah. So I
yeah,
really think that if they would have stuck together and they would have made an album and made Desert Moon one of the big singles, I think it could have been a huge hit. And so, I mean, it was a pretty big hit for Dennis, but I think it
yeah.
would have been even bigger if they would have marketed it under the Styx name. So that's my track four is Desert Moon. I do think
Yeah,
it's
and
a
actually
great
a really
song.
cool like a movie video for it, which I really dug back, it was really
Mm-hmm.
cool. Um, all right, so my number four is all right. You know what? For every Styx album, I mean, for the longest time, you're gonna have a Goofy Dennis song on it. So I'm like, why not go pure Goofy? And I did, and I went there. Boys will be boys.
Oh no.
Is it not true that there's always a Goofy Dennis song
Yeah,
somewhere
there's
on
always a
there?
Goofy
So,
Dennis song
and I
somewhere, but
figured, and he would have forced JY and Tommy to put this goofy ass song on there. So, being a
probably.
realist, I think this song probably could have made the album. Um,
I saved
regrettably,
yeah, I saved my Goofy Dennis song for side two.
but yeah, I'm going to put that as my number four. Boys will be boys off Dennis's Desert Moon.
Oof. Ouch.
Yeah, I
Oh
know, but
boy.
it's it's the way
Yeah,
Dennis rolls.
it's realistic, It's
And
sadly
he
it
would have
probably
said,
would have
"Well,
made the
Desert
album.
Moon was a huge hit, and so I'm going to add this song because this will be another huge hit." Meh.
Nah, next.
It's like, oh shit, I missed
uh
music time. Yeah,
huh. That was my favorite comment that you made on that episode was I'd almost rather take music time on this album over this.
pretty much. Yeah, but that's my number. That's a legitimate pick because I think that's the way they did business back then with Dennis.
Oh
They
yeah.
had to coddle him a little bit, and they probably would have put this song on there of Dennis ass. That's why I put it on.
Yep.
Close off side one, man. What do you got?
All right. So when we were doing our reviews, I talked about none of these guys, except for one, really knew how to close out a side or an album. And that one was JY. And I'm going to close it out with what closed out his side one, running out of time.
Oh,
Um,
great.
really great, just rocking tune to close out side one. Um, one of my favorites off that album. Really, really solid track. So that's what I'm going to close my side one with.
Yeah, I agree with you. JY, I'm gonna end my side one with JY, but I'm gonna end up with Wild Dogs in the Night. Fucking great tune, dude. I mean, like you said, nobody knows how to end an album or start if you think about it. The albums he started
Mm-hmm.
out with, let's say Pieces of Eight and all the Wood and
Mm-hmm.
Nickel stuff. I mean, those songs were bangers, man, and rockers. So he definitely knows how to fucking start off an album. But I'm gonna end mine with Wild Dogs on the Night. So I've got Tommy 2, JY 2, and Dennis 1. What do you got?
On side one, I have two for Dennis, two for JY, and one for Tommy so far.
Trying to get rid of Dennis right away, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna
Well, I
flip
mean
this.
that's the kind of that's honestly, I think we're lowballing it here. If this was a real Styx album, Dennis would be the one with at least four tracks. So
Pretty much, yeah.
this isn't as realistic as it could be. There's no way that JY would have four tracks on a Styx album in
No,
1985. None at all. But
no,
if I'm going to be forced to make an album, I'm putting four JY tracks on there.
right. That's true. I've been more realistic. We only put one JY. Maybe we should have done. I've been too hard. I've been too many Dennis songs. But
Yeah.
we're gonna flip this album over and we're gonna do start out with side two. What do you got, man?
Well, when we reviewed the album, I said what a great way to close side one and what a great way to open up side two. I'm just pulling it out again. JY chasing me down. What opened up side two of City Slicker. Another great JY rocker. Great way to open up side two. Like you said, JY knows how to open an album too. And this reminds me of the kind of stuff that he would open it with in the Wood Nickel era or with stuff like Great White Hope or Put Me On. Just some really, really great stuff here. That's what I'm going to open up with some JY here chasing me down.
Yeah, I'm with you. I had the same exact song actually. I think so. We both agreed on what I think it's a great opener for side two. Three, like I said, three JY songs so far is far fetched, but you know what? So is this. So we're just having fun
Yeah,
with it. But it's a great rocking tune, dude. And again, you know, the great. He's the only one I think to pretty much stick. Well, Dennis stayed true to himself, I guess. But and Tommy, like we said, Tommy I think wanted to but couldn't. But JY man is nailing this with his rocking songs, man. They're kick ass, and this is a great way to start off side two, in my opinion. So I'm with you on that one. So let's go with the next song, man. What do you got?
well, I've only had one Tommy song so far, so I'm going to go back to Tommy here, and I'm going to go with "Outside in the Rain." I really do dig this song. I think that the kind of we talked about it on when we did the review. A lot of Tommy's songs, like there's stuff that's really good about it, but then there's like some stuff that kind of drags it down a little bit. Like there's stuff where it's like, okay, this is building up a little bit, then the chorus gets in, and you're like, eh. Or like songs that are just building and building and never really crescendo. I think this is one of the ones that is, as a song, is the most consistent throughout. I think that it's a really, really good song. Uh, this is the one with with the duet vocal, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And yeah, so I think that the vocals are great. The duet sounds really good. I think it's a really solid song, and so that's what I'm gonna have as my second track on side two is "Outside in the Rain" from Tommy.
Yeah, my second track is a Tommy song too. It's unfortunate, well, not unfortunately, but it is my last Tommy song. "Fading Away." I dig that song. Yeah, again, we're talking about we talked about before as far as the slickness of it. I still think it sounds great. And regardless of what we think about that album, I think Tommy's vocals are, incredible all through it. Pretty much, I would like to hear a little bit more guitar, but like you said, we're not going to. It was that time period. I can't really, I can nitpick it and complain about it, but I'm trying to put myself back there, and it was the norm. I know I said that 5 times already, but it's true. But I think it's a decent song, man. And Tommy's voice never disappoints, no matter what he was in. Damn Yankees, Shaw Blades, all that stuff. His voice has always been freaking just top notch all the time. And he's still, till this day, 71, I think he is now,
Yeah.
still sounds like Tommy fucking Shaw, man. And that's more than I can say for a lot of people. So
Mm-hmm.
congrats on whatever you're doing to keep that voice alive, man. And I dig that song, man. I think it's a cool tune. Fading Away is my next one. All right, next song, man.
All right, side two, track three. Here comes my cheesy Dennis song. I talked about it when we reviewed the album. When I saw that this was on the album, I said, why? But I think if you're going to make a Styx album, this will be one of the songs that would be more likely to make it, and that is his version of Jimi Hendrix's Fire.
Uh,
Um, I think because I also talked about when we did the album, I would love to hear what JY and Tommy could do on guitar on this song.
oh, yeah, that'd been cool.
I think I would love to hear them doing the
Yeah.
Hendrix riffs, and I think that this would be a great opportunity to make that song a little bit better, to let them get their hands on it a little bit. And I think that that would be a very it would be a solid cover. I mean, it's not going to be a great cover, but it would be a more solid cover with Tommy and JY playing guitar on it.
Who would ever thought the three of them, if they did a Jimi Hendrix cover, would have been Dennis,
I know that's
But
up JY's alley, definitely.
yeah, I had the same exact song, dude. I mean, you're exactly right. Everything you mentioned about it. I think, man, hearing Tommy and JY just fucking, this would be a great point in a concert, maybe to just have them rip their solos, during it. You know what I mean? I think it's a decent cover. I mean, that's all I can say about it. But
Mm-hmm.
the fact that Dennis did a Jimi Hendrix cover, kudos to him for that. But would have been much better with Tommy and JY. I agree with you 100%. But that's my side two, song three. So let's go with song four.
All right, so something we talked about also things you kind of have to have it on a Styx album. You got to have a Tommy acoustic song, and so my last Tommy Shaw song is going to be "Little Girl World." Even though we talked about it's not one of his best acoustic songs, it is still a Tommy Shaw acoustic song, and that's preferable to a lot of things. So
Yes.
you got to have a Tommy Shaw acoustic song on your Styx album. And so even though I think there are better songs on Girls with Guns. Like I didn't shoot. I think we actually chose completely different Tommy Shaw songs. I
Yeah.
don't think we shared any of Tommy Shaw songs. So I do agree some of the ones you picked are better, but I think that you kind of have to have a Tommy Shaw acoustic song on a Styx album, and so that's why I picked Little Girl World.
I agree with you on that, but there's lyrics in that song just
Oh,
I
the
just hate
lyrics are
them.
not great.
They're bad. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I had to put this my next pick. I had to put it somewhere. I know this is a weird place for a ballad, and I didn't know where to put it. I have two ballads on there, so I had to put one on each side. So I'm going with the more popular one, Desert Moon. I probably should have switched it with Lonely School. I think Desert Moon would have worked side one better than where it's at now. Lonely School would have been a cool side two ballad now that I think about it. But yeah, Desert Moon. I mean, beautiful song. Right up Dennis's alley, like we talked about before. Cool video. Probably would have been the biggest hit on this album, definitely. No matter what songs we put on it. And we put another notch in Dennis's cap, another feather in his cap. But can't argue with this tune. Everything's great about it. Beautiful song, and that's my song four side two. So let's close this album out, man. What do we got?
All right. Well, I closed it out the way that JY closed out his album, Empty Promises. I think it's a great closing track. As we kind of said, it's the only good closing track on any of these three albums. Neither of the other two albums
Pretty much.
had a good closing track. And so I think that Empty Promises was a great way to close out City Slicker, and I think it would be a great way to close this one out. So that's what I'm going to go with for my closing track is JY's Empty Promises.
Yeah, I have a JY song too. I got running out of time though. I think it's a cool title for an ending song. Great
Mm-hmm.
song, rocking song. Kind of bookended my sides with JY songs. I figure, some great rocking, bookends would be great for this album. But yeah, again, another great rocket song. JY's voice, I think, is great. JY doesn't never get credit for his vocals. I mean, he's got more kind of a nasty, I wouldn't say a metal voice. Well, maybe kind of a metal type
Yeah,
voice, but I don't know, wouldn't know what to classify, but it's definitely not a
he has
glossy,
that snarl.
yeah, definitely not a glossy ballad,
Mm-mm.
type singer, which, well, okay, well, anyway, I'll talk about that song. But shit, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, again, excuse me, right up his alley, rocking, you know, just a fucking great kind of as I said, a good ending song in my opinion. And back to Wood and Nickel, where he did have four, maybe five songs on lead vocals. I mean, so kind of like nostalgic, maybe. I don't know, but JY's album is the best. So it's no surprise that we both had four songs on it. But anyway, that's our what if segue in here. What if album if Styx were to take their first three albums and three solo albums, excuse me, and make a Styx album, probably, I don't know, in the realms of 80. Let's see, Kilroy was 83, Cognac was 84, 86 maybe,
I say these. I think
possibly.
all three of these albums came out in '85. So um,
Okay.
either late '85 or early '86 would probably be when this would have come out
I'm just
if
saying
it
what
was a
a
Styx
it would have
album.
what a decent release time. I don't know if they would do three
Yeah.
in a row. Like, I don't know, they probably would. I don't know. But this was a lot of fun, man. A lot of
Yeah.
hypothesizing about what it would be like. I love doing shows like this. I hope we have more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Yeah.
what do you
We'll have to do
guys
this again
think?
with the next couple solo
Yeah.
albums, maybe.
What do you guys think? Let us know on the comments on our YouTube channel if you agree with the list. If you would add some songs, take some songs off, let us know. But
Yeah.
what are we doing next show, Joe?
Well, before we do that, I just want to kind of just summarize, run down our whole album real quick, just so that
Okay.
we can kind of end it with that. So, my track list was "Don't Wait for Heroes" from Dennis, "Come In and Explain" from Tommy, "Something to Remember You By" from JY, "Desert Moon" from Dennis, "Running Out of Time" from JY, "Chasing Me Down" from JY, "Outside in the Rain" from Tommy, "Fire" from Dennis, "Little Girl World" from Tommy, and "Empty Promises" from JY.
Yeah. All right. I got City Slicker leading off. Then I got Girls with Guns. And I'm actually going to switch my battles. I'm going to put Desert Moon number three on side one. I know that's against the rules, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then the Goofy Boys would be boys because, like we said, there'd be a Goofy Dennis song on there somewhere, and that's it. Wild Dogs in the Night would finish it off. Then side two, I'd have Chasing Me Down by JY, Fading Away by Tommy, Fire by Dennis, Desert Moon. It was hard for me, like, or not Desert Moon, but Lonely School, because I switched them. I think that Lonely School
Mhm.
would sound better there in my opinion, now that I think about it. And then closing it out with Running Out of Time by JY. And JY wins, as
Mhm.
we aren't surprised with. So
No, no, not at all.
but
But like
yeah, go ahead, man.
yeah, like you said, coming up next, we got some more great um albums here coming up. We got a lot more solo albums to do,
Yeah,
but up next we have a Tommy Shaw solo album to do. His second solo album, What If, is the next album that we're going to be covering here on the show. Then we got some more, a couple more solo albums before we get to the year 1990, which was a really important year for the world of Styx. Styx
yeah.
itself got back together. Plus, we also get the first Damn Yankees album. So we're going to be covering that here coming up after we get a few more solo albums in. But yeah, up next, we got another Tommy Shaw album, What If?
Looking forward to it. And as I said before, thank you everybody for your support and your views and liking it. And always feel free to comment. We always do our best to try to respond back. I admit I've been slacking lately. I'm sorry. I've been busy with school and stuff like that. And I will get back with doing some more shorts and responding to everybody's questions on the YouTube comment page. So thank you, Joe. Always great doing this with you, man. And you all be good. And hope you have a happy new year. Even though this goes out, yeah, New Year's will be over with by then. But I hope you had a happy New Year's. There you go. But
Mm-hmm.
take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye bye.